Hello everybody, I'll be doing a book review for you today, and I'll be reviewing East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Now, it's East of Eden, and it's John Steinbeck. I mean, what can I possibly say that hasn't already been said for generations? Now I went into this not really knowing anything about what this was about. I think really the first time I'd really been enticed to read this was in a YouTube review I follow, where I read several of her other book recommendations, and she just adored East of Eden, and so I kind of got a glimpse about, like some of these characters. Oh, Kathy's a bitch. Oh, I couldn't stand her. Oh, but Adam and blah 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 blah. So I'm like, okay. And so several other friends of mine have been wanting to read this, and so I finally saw this in my library on the ship I work on. And like, okay, I'll pick this up on Along Underway. And so about a month later, I finally finished this brick of a book. And I have to say, this truly is a masterpiece of literature. I can totally see why so many people adore this book and think it's the greatest book they've ever read. And I can say it, I can tell it's truly remarkable. But would I say it's like in my top 10 favorite books of all time? At this moment, probably not. Now hear me out. Don't start hating on me. I thought this was fabulous. It had so many redeeming qualities. It had so many great passages and so many great interactions. And you just either love or you hate the characters. Steinbeck just does a beautiful job about great character description and development. And so this mainly follows two different families. It's the Hamiltons and the Trasks, and it has a big Cain and Abel plot point. Two different generations. It has two sets of brothers, Adam and his brother Charles, and then it goes into the next generation, Adam's two sons as well. And so there's a lot of big sibling rivalry in this book, and that's one of the plot points. And then there's another plot point that goes into Samuel Hamilton and his family, and how they survive and how they live, and how it's different from the Trasks, and how they interact with each other, and how everybody just builds off of each other and helps each other out, and how that's just basically how life is. It's just the people that you meet influence who you are and how you survive. So this book takes place in the Salinas Valley in California, so it's like I really didn't know really what it looked like. But the way he described it, it's just this dirt, barren farming land. And it begins with the Hamiltons and how they are such good people, and they seem to pretty much be taken advantage of. They seem to just be making it by, and they're on this terrible, barren farmland, but then they always want to go help others. They want to just be good people, and then it kind of jumps to the Trasks in New England, and how their whole life starts with Adam and his brother, who they have this big sibling rivalry, and how Adam is the meeker of the two brothers, even though he's older, and his father basically makes him enlist in the army, much to Adam's disdain for wanting to do that. But it kind of develops him into the person that he is. He is away from home a long time, and he never really has a good relationship with his brother. And so eventually he makes his way to the Salinas Valley. So then we get introduced to a character whose name is Kathy. And even though she is probably one of the most evil characters you could ever read in a book, she was probably one of the more interesting, enticing characters to read. Like, whenever she was on the page, you just kept reading and reading and reading, because she was such an interesting, complex character, and you just wanted to understand her better, even though she was a terrible witch. But that's kind of what adds some darkness into the book. And also a character that people don't really talk about. His name is Lee, and he's a Chinaman, and he lives and is kind of basically a servant to these families. But he became my favorite character. He was so witty and sarcastic, and he just pretty much held these people together. He was basically like just the glue. And I just adored Lee. He was fabulous, and he was right up to the end. Just like the matriarch, just like everything, just held this family together. So for those who find longer works and long epic works with many characters, this might be a little daunting, because I usually find I don't really always like long epic stories with lots and lots of characters. Um, and for some reason, I just find it kind of depressing, especially the setting of the book and the time period. It's just this dead, barren land. It's hot. It's like before modern age, and for some reason, I just thought it was kind of depressing. But the the character development, the character interaction, like the crap that these people have to deal with and what they overcome, it's so worth the read, and I can totally see why this is discussed. There's so many good points in this book that can be discussed in a literary group, and it just has made me really fall in love with John Steinbeck, and I really look forward to reading more of his works in the future. So if you are interested in reading a riveting, beautifully crafted, character-driven book that has some gorgeous pieces, gorgeous writing, redemption, I highly recommend John Steinbeck's East of Eden.